I'm me again. Haha, look at my happy self.
It's not just you, idiot! Frisk, you messed this up! Now I've got limbs again! I can run again! I can move!
Wait, no, stop, guys! What's happened? Why are we all the same dog?
Ah!
Ah! Ah!
Look, he's chasing his tail.
Honestly, brother, every day that dumb dog gets weirder and weirder.
Sans, Papyrus, I know this is crazy to hear, but I'm really a human. I'm from the future. A future where we're friends and the barrier was destroyed and all the monsters are on the surface again. I came back in time to warn you that your friend Gaster is going to be in an accident with the core, and unless you stop him, he'll be lost in time and space forever!
Wow, you're chatty today, aren't you, pup?
Oh, he just wants a bone.
Don't work too hard, pup.
Is this some kind of joke? Are you seriously telling me that we're all back in time in the same body with immense powers, but can only communicate with barking? We're done for. We're stuck as a stupid dog, and it's all your fault, Frisk.
This was completely your idea, Flowey.
But you screwed it up. It was supposed to be all of just you and the other soul in the past. You were supposed to finish absorbing that soul first.
I'm sorry, I got scared. It was all happening so fast.
Just so you know, I'm okay with this.
Now just hold on. Okay, I can still reach my save file. I can still load where I am in the present.
Well, then load us back to the present so you can just try again.
Flowey, I don't think I can try again. This first time was already almost too much to handle.
And the doctor didn't look happy. She probably wouldn't let you take another soul.
So what? We're stuck like this until we find Gaster?
We're here at the lab at the right time. He has to be nearby. We can go back to the present as soon as we save him. This is our only chance.
How are we supposed to communicate any of this?
We'll find a way. We just have to stay determined.
Ugh, what's the deal here?
I'm an outside guard. I'm not allowed inside the lab.
Big deal. We don't have time for rules.
What we need is a shortcut.
How did you know we could do that?
Sans did something similar a lot. I figure right now we could too. Let's go.
Okay, how about the next shortcut we take someplace useful?
First try. Let's find Gaster. Wait, where's the time machine?
Who cares? Where's that scientist?
You lost, pup? How'd you get in here anyway? Yes, Papyrus was right. Sorry, no bones for you, pup.
Hey, why are you away from your post? Guards aren't allowed inside the lab without proper security clearance.
I'm away from my post because I'm really a godlike human monster flower from the future on a secret mission.
Jeez, haven't even gotten your armor yet and it's already going to your head. Ugh, sorry to interrupt.
I guess he just got overexcited. It's his big day today, right? How?
Forget this. I'm going out for a smoke.
Okay. As you all know, Frisk has fallen down. They're still alive, just not waking up. But if there's one thing we know about Frisk, it's that they always stay determined, no matter what. So that's what we're going to have to do, too. Papyrus, I want you and Sans to take turns watching over Frisk. I don't think a human hospital can help us now. So we'll keep them in their room. I want you to let me know the instant anything changes.
Yes, Toriel. I'll never leave Frisk's side. And once they awaken, I'll make sure the first thing they see is the beautiful face of their friend.
We're switching off, bro.
Or the decently nice face of their other friend.
I'll have to call the embassy and try to explain what I can. Undyne, I think I'm going to need your help at the school. I can't handle both places at once. Right. And Alphys, how is that amalgam doing?
Not good. Endogeny won't respond to anything I say or do. I don't think they know how to handle one of their souls being gone. Just lashing out at everything.
Then it's not safe to move them. They're going to have to stay in the garage for now. Alphys, you will have to take care of them. And you are not to go near Frisk again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all for you for now. If you'll excuse me, I'll have to make one more phone call.
Yes, hello?
Asgore, this is Toriel. I need you to come over right away. Something's happened, and I need your assistance.
Oh, absolutely. I'll come right over. What do you need me for?
I need you and your gardening abilities to make sure that no matter what, this flower does not die. Asgore?
I'll be there. My time has come.
Frisk wasn't thinking too hard on where they needed to shortcut to, just that they needed to get out of the lab as quickly as possible. Unfortunately for them, the shortcut opening dropped them into one of the hardest places to forget, the garbage dump. The dog leapt out of the shortcut only to land face first into a pile of soggy trash. It remained stuck with its nose in an empty bottle of syrup before finally backing out of the pile and shaking off the excess garbage.
I thought you said next shortcut we were going someplace useful.
Flowey growled. Greatest Dog, on the other hand, seemed absolutely thrilled about being surrounded by garbage, as dogs often were.
This is the most useful. Look at this stuff. We're sure to find the scientist here.
Flowey remained unconvinced.
Seriously?
Frisk took control of the dog again, taking a bit more time to examine their surroundings. It seemed like this place had changed very little between the past and their last explorations through it.
I don't get it. We didn't see Dr. Gaster at all inside the lab. But everyone was still working there like normal. This has to be the right time.
Maybe he was just out to see the sights or visit a friend.
Greatest Dog suggested.
I never got the impression he was a see-the-sights kind of monster.
Flowey said. Although, truth be told, none of them had strong impressions to go off of either way.
But if he's not in the lab, then it's worth it to check out other parts of the underground while we're here. He has to be somewhere down here.
Working off of that pragmatism, the dog set off to the garbage dump. Frisk still in control. Maybe the scientist was here to scour for parts. On one hand, it'd make sense. There was so much old technology down here still available for use. But, on the other hand, wouldn't he send a younger assistant to look for things while he was in the lab doing his important work? The more Frisk thought about it, the more it felt like something here just wasn't adding up. And being in the state they were now, they couldn't hide those thoughts from Flowey or Greatest Dog either.
If he's supposed to be here but he's not, then what are we missing?
It was difficult to sniff out anything in the garbage dump with so many competing smells. But they still knew where they were going. Frisk edged the dog to a halt as they rounded a particularly large mountain of trash. What if that angry dummy was still around here? When did they first become a dummy anyway? They really didn't want to deal with trying to negotiate with that weird dummy in this state. They took a quick scan of the passage ahead, but it appeared to be empty. Unfortunately, they didn't quite notice that someone else was exploring the trash piles with them until it was too late.
Oh my god!
A pair of big purple paws suddenly scooped the dog right out of the ankle-deep water and nearly squeezed the air out of them. All three got rattled by the surprise hug, although it didn't take too long to figure out who had grabbed them.
Bratty, come look at this adorable cat I found!
The gator monster slid down a pile of mattresses from above, dressed in the most hideous mismatched accessories a person could find, and came to a stop beside her bestie. Flowey took control of the dog long enough to shoot Bratty a death glare.
Yeah, just try it.
Of course, neither of the girls heard much more than the disgruntled barking from the dog, and erupted into laughter.
Oh my god, no, Bratty!
Fine, but I'm gonna pet it for the next 6 hours. Look at its dumb little face.
No, I'm gonna pet it for the next 7 hours!
Bratty reached down and began scratching the dog behind its ear. Flowey, still in control, just glowered even more.
This is such a waste of time. If we don't get moving soon, I'm gonna bite her hand off.
Greatest Dog seemed more than thrilled at the prospect of pets, though.
No! We can't leave during pets! Pets are the best!
All that was interrupted by the arrival of a third monster, a familiar yellow reptilian monster. All three recognized Alphys right away, although she did look a whole lot younger, happier, and healthier, and she was dressed in the same kinds of garish clothes as Bratty and Catty. Alphys's arms were full of old DVDs and VHS cases, and at least a couple of waterlogged magazines. The covers depicted what looked like Japanese and Korean pop stars in outlandish makeup with wild hair, although some of the titles were long washed out.
Hey guys, I think this series is still in good condition. Plus I was looking through these magazines and I think there's some good ideas for my friend. You know, he was talking about that show we watched together and I think he might like...
She trailed off as she realized that Bratty and Catty were doting over the dog.
Oh, you found a new friend!
Frisk took control again as Alphys approached. It was hard not to be taken aback by her appearance here, considering the state that they had last left her in. Even in just her tone of voice, she seemed a lot more worry-free now. Everything seemed to be off the rails from what they'd expected and their original plan as it was. They were suddenly struck with a thought. Whenever they got back, would it really be like no time passed at all in the present? Would Alphys and Sans and everyone still be okay? What if time was moving differently for them in different save files? Suddenly, they weren't so sure on much of it. But Frisk still had to try and communicate.
Alphys, can you understand us?
Alphys's lack of answer to them served as answer enough. She did set down her pile of trash-turned-treasures to give the dog another ear scratch, though.
It's a cat and I'm gonna keep it! It's a dog and we're gonna keep it!
Alphys smiled down at the dog, but couldn't help noticing that the dog wasn't giving back the usual dumb, panting dog smile of a dog being pet. If anything, it just looked really anxious. Alphys's expression softened, and she managed to take the dog out of Catty's tight grasp.
Aw, look at him. He seems a little stressed out. Is something bothering you, little guy?
Oh my gosh, Alphys! You're so good with dogs! You're gonna be a crazy dog lady with like 20 dogs someday, Alphys.
Frisk weighed over their options. Without being able to talk directly, they couldn't very well explain their mission, or ask any of the three if they knew where Gaster was. If they tried to demonstrate some of their abilities here now, most of which Frisk could only guess that they were capable of, that might just cause more questions than give them answers. It seemed like their only option was to keep on the hunt for him, and yet Frisk felt terribly awkward leaving Alphys like this, knowing what was in all their futures. Wasn't there something they could do? Greatest Dog, however, did have something to say.
Doctor, I know you'll just be trying your best. I'm sorry things don't go right, but remember, it doesn't mean that you're bad. I still think you're good.
Despite it all, Alphys didn't understand any of the dog's barkings. It wasn't clear if those barks got across any of Greatest Dog's meaning to her, but they at least seemed to leave an impression. She smiled at them, and carefully set them back down on the ground. It seemed like Alphys was most content to send them on their way. Bratty and Catty both looked disappointed at the loss of their fuzzy friend.
Aw, man, I was gonna name it Trash Dog. I was gonna name it Garbage Pooch.
I think maybe he's got his own important things he's looking for, too. We should let him go find them,
Alphys said. The dog shook itself out, and with Frisk still in control, took the opportunity to head for the dump exit. They stopped briefly, just long enough to give Alphys another hopeful glance. They had to believe that things would turn out okay, for all of their sakes. Alphys waved, and then stooped back down to pick up the goodies she'd found. She shot a joking glance toward her two younger friends.
Well, it's a good thing I let him go. Otherwise, you would have compromised with a name like Sir Garbage Dog Trash Pooch.
The echoes of the three friends' howling laughter carried up with the dog as they exited the dump and ran towards the dwellings of Waterfall.